we think about these two different types of calendars, on the one hand a tabular calendar where you can't tell the date by observing natural signs, but have to consult a human source, and on the other hand a natural calendar where the date is read from what is happening in the sky, you can then compare the different calendars that are in use to determine whether they are natural calendars or tabular calendars, or in what respect they belong to one category or the other. The Gregorian calendar that is used for commerce around the world is a tabular printed calendar. All the days of the week are printed out with the corresponding dates, and you can print Gregorian calendars years in advance or calculate the day of the week of any date for centuries and centuries. The Gregorian calendar deals with the difference between the solar cycle and 365 days by a formula that adds a day to February every 4 years, except at the start of centuries, but then does add a leap day at the start of every 4th century. This formula is close enough to the solar cycle that it will not need adjustment for about 1 years. So the Gregorian calendar is excellent at tracking the solar cycle. But like any solar calendar, it pays no attention to the lunar cycle. With a solar calendar, you are not using the moon to determine the months. So the months have 31 days, or 28 days, or 30 days. But no lunar cycle has 31 days or 28 days. While the number of days in a month in most solar calendars was based historically on the lunar cycle, the solar calendar has abandoned the lunar cycle in order to just track the solar year. Months in solar calendars will start at any point in the lunar cycle, so you cannot tell the day of the month by looking at the moon. Conversely, a lunar calendar like the Muslim calendar currently in use tracks the lunar cycle. Months start with the crescent moon, but it ignores the solar cycle and the seasons, so it does not track natural years. The years in a lunar calendar don't have anything to do with nature. 12 cycles of the moon around the earth is not anything in nature other than 12 cycles of the moon around the earth. If you lost consciousness for some period of time, say you went to sleep for a long time like the people of the cave and then you woke up, you would not be able to tell what month you were in by any natural sign. Not by the weather, not by the stars, not by the sun's position in the sky. The months have no seasonal character. If there were not records being kept, continuously archiving the passage of months, you would have nothing to go on, nothing by which to tell the name of the month you were in. In that sense, a strictly lunar calendar is also a tabular calendar. To know the name of the month requires human record keeping. A lunisolar calendar, on the other hand, can be completely natural because you are using the solar cycle to determine readiness for the year to start and using the lunar cycle to determine the start of each month and thus the actual start of the year. The start of each year integrates the solar and the lunar cycles. With a lunisolar calendar, you don't necessarily have to record anything. You don't have to write anything down. You can look up at the sky and tell what the date is in the lunisolar calendar within 1 day. Or to get the exact date of the month, you could just use a pegboard with 30 holes in it to count the days from the start of each month. You can look at the horizon from a specific viewing location to see where the sun is rising or setting and tell by that what month you are in. With this kind of natural calendar, you would not need anything printed. You would not even need to be able to read. You would just need to know a simple rule for when the year starts and be able to see the moon and the position of the sunset or the sunrise.